DC has delivered one of the best films in the entire DCU franchise. But having said that, the bar is pretty damn low. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I am Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Warner Brothers and DC's latest film, The Flash. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the last few years, this film has been highly anticipated for a multitude of reasons. It's the resetting of the DCEU, it's based on one of the most influential story arcs in DC's history, Flashpoint, and of course, it happens to be the film that has the controversy around its main star, Ezra Miller. And of course, speaking of the latter controversy, that of course would put a lot of dampers on a lot of people's experiences going into The Flash. So I tried to go in without having that knowledge in mind and just seeing it for what it was. And what it was alright. This is not a bad film by any means, but neither is it a good film. It's just, it is what it is, and it's a DC film at the end of the day, so we don't expect something of high caliber now, do we? Of course, I hear the comments already sparking debate over, hey, the Suicide Squad, that was a great DC film, or even the Batman or the Joker. Now look, I am purely basing this on the DCEU, meaning Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, that line of films. Let's exclude all those one-off films that we've had because those are pretty damn great. But this, in terms of the lines of what's come before it, it's possible and acceptable. Now, before we get into this, I just have to say this is a spoiler-free review, so you don't have to worry about any spoilers that are coming out of this video. You can still go in and have a fun time and not be spoiled by whatever the news and media have been putting out recently. So The Flash does set out what it wants to do. It takes the whole story of Flashpoint in the comic books and brings it into the big screen, basically resetting the whole DC universe and giving us a fresh start, especially now the fact that James Gunn is taking over the whole franchise itself. The film does have its moments. It is kind of fun and has a deeply heartfelt story around it, as well as a lot of great action sequences with a surprisingly killer soundtrack, as well as the fact that our Batman has returned, the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman, who has always remained my Bruce Wayne, and I'm sure for a lot of you of my generation watching this as well. But having said that, there are a few key issues around this, not the most of least are the CGI in this film, which I'm sure if you've been reading the news recently, that has been a major issue. Now, Andy Muschietti, the director, has come out to say that some of the VFX moments are meant to look like that and resemble some sort of watery, sort of not so great early 2000s CGI, and I get that. Those sequences I totally understand. However, there are many other instances where we're not in those moments where it clearly feels like the CGI was rushed. Some of the graphics were just really smooth and didn't feel at all like they took a lot of time to really perfect it. And in this day and age, with the way CGI has been going, there's absolutely no excuse for the way it looked. There's going to be a lot of moments where you're going to sit there and go, okay, alright. And also, I wish they took more time to really go in depth with a lot of the characters. And that's also where the shortcomings come about. We have a great cast of characters with The Flash, we have Batfleck's Batman, who I believe deserve better. Like, he's really getting into it now, and I wish we got another Batfleck film, but I guess that won't happen again. And the story, while it is great and it is, like I said, heartwarming and fun, it does feel a bit convoluted at times. There are going to be moments where you're going to sit there and go, but this, but that. And that's why I feel like they should have taken a little bit longer, or the script could have been reworked to give a little bit more depth and explanation to a lot of things that were going on. And that brings me to Keaton's Batman. While it was great that he was in there, it was so nice to see my Batman on screen again. I just feel like, did he need to be there? Why was he there? Other than to go, hey, we're taking you from point A to point B. He was essentially Mr. Exposition. And I feel that is such a waste of this wonderful character that we've been waiting so long to see. Also, adding to the mix with Supergirl, Kara, she also had so much potential, but there just wasn't enough time or even explanation or depth to really give us an emotional moment with her and understand why she's on this entire storyline. Now, putting that all aside, let's talk about Ezra. I did find Ezra fairly annoying to begin with. I'm sorry, I might anger a lot of fans out there, but I still don't think that Ezra Miller is Barry Allen or The Flash. He doesn't encapsulate what Barry Allen was in the comic books. He's a nice little boy, innocent and trying to do good in this world, but this Barry Allen that Ezra has crafted seems to be a bit more snarky, a bit more awkward, and just all around not very likable. And what's funny is that when we get the alternate version of the Flash, the younger Flash, where Barry goes back in time, that character is so much more annoying that it makes the current Flash more likable. And to be honest, if that needs to happen, means you don't have a likable character at all. Sure, he does the best that he can do with the character, but the best just wasn't enough this time, Ezra. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. And all those weird jokes that both Barry Allens do, it just didn't fit. It just broke up whatever flow was happening at that time. Like we're going from here and then there's this joke and we dip and then we keep going again. So there's a lot of inconsistencies and a lot, like I said, convolutedness, if that's even a word, within the whole film. And last but not least, I do have to talk about the cameos. Now, of course, with a film like this based on Flashpoint, there are going to be cameos, and if you've been lucky to miss all those spoilers that the news has been going out, congratulations. But for those that have known about it, let me just say this. All of that was purely fan service. There wasn't really a reason for it to be there. There really wasn't. Like, sure, it was nice to see all these faces again, but at the same time, did we need it? Not so much. You could have done without it, but hey, at least they were there. So at the end of the day, does the Flash work? Yes, at points. Does it not work? Yes, at points. It's a film that I feel like, yes, you should watch, but at the same time, I'm not going to see it another time. It is what it is. It's a good cap-off for the entire DCEU, and therefore, maybe you should give it a watch and enjoy it yourself. Maybe you might find it differently. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, some love it, some hate it, so maybe this is one of those films where you should make that ultimate decision at the end of the day. So do yourself a favor, go and catch The Flash. It's screening in cinemas everywhere right now. Go to your local cinema, go and find it and catch it. And hey, drop me a comment in the box below and let me know what you thought. Maybe you might enjoy it. Change my mind, I don't know. But that's just how I feel. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and check out all the social media for more updates. And I also co-host a podcast with Karel and Baha and Amelia Chen called Geeks in Malaysia. We talk about everything and anything that is to do about pop culture, comic books, video games, TV shows, movies. We talk about it all, and we also have a bunch of videos. So check out our YouTube channel as well as our podcast on all audio platforms. And not forgetting, I also write a few articles for the media outlet Goggler. They write some fantastic reviews and articles about film and TV, as well as interview Hollywood's top celebrities. So make sure you check out all their social media for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and as always, keep watching the movies.